Morning. On the line right now is Ed Welch from AAA. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
We had good. We had Peter Franklin, Gabby Cabby in New York City on the other day. He was all excited that when he had an issue and had to call AAA, he reached somebody in Utica.
Well, I'm really glad he was excited, but our call center here in Utica, which has about 110 people in it, we take calls, most of the calls from the New York City metro area.
Pretty cool. Something we didn't know that occurred. So
yeah, we expanded our call center presence here about 7 years ago, and we have a staff of about 140 in downtown Utica right now.
Wow.
And we just quietly do our business. We've been in business in downtown Utica since 1901. AAA has. So I don't know if we're the oldest business continuously operating in downtown Utica, but we're in the top 5 at least.
Listen, I'm switching gears, and by the way, you also have a call center here for, am I correct? And there's for cruises and trips and that sort of thing?
Yes. We have a travel call center here, and we just purchased a building at 430 Court Street where our road service call center is. And we just purchased the building, and we're going to be expanding in it. So we're going to probably bring another 50, 60 jobs here to Utica,
wow.
And they'll all be travel call center jobs.
Pretty awesome. Done right here. That's a big positive. Now, speaking of positives, I over the weekend, and I will say it is with my discount. So you get the gift card, but with my gift card, I paid $2.05 this weekend.
And I saw a gas station next to a thruway exit locally with their little discount on Friday at $1.99.
Wow. And do they also have milkshakes? I'm heading over there after I get off the air.
Guys that sell milkshakes. And Bill, and I know you want to talk about a lot of things, but I think this one's important. Today, as of this moment, we have the third lowest gas prices in upstate New York. The Buffalo, Rochester, and Binghamton markets are higher than Utica.
Yeah, I traveled last weekend. I could not believe, even on the thruway, Ed, the prices were significantly lower at the Westmoreland Exchange. But as you traveled out west, out towards Buffalo, the prices jacked up 20 cents. Sure. They were 20 cents higher.
And what have we been saying for years? Now that the milkshake guys and a couple of other companies have started building gas stations, what's happening to the price?
We're seeing the prices go down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Westmoreland exit has one of those stores right next to it, and the guy's right there on the thruway. So if he doesn't match his price to the guy when you get off the thruway, what's going to happen? You're
right.
So competition has always been the key. It's not some clandestine thing going on here. It's business, and if you can charge more, you do. And if you need to be competitive, you drop your price. Isn't that what business is?
I understand that we have to regulate things, but there was a movement in place to try to investigate the collusion with gas companies here locally and the prices. I don't think that. Obviously, there has to be regulation, but at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. It's the free market. That's what drives the price down, and we're witnessing it here. That's
absolutely.
Positive,
and I think if these companies continue to invest here and build nice facilities and make it nice for you to go shopping there and get your gas and your milk and your bread and everything else when you go in, you're going to continue to see this. And, of course, we're just slightly ahead of the curve because we've gone now 57 days in a row in the United States where the gas prices have dropped.
Yeah.
And we're going to be seeing them get below. I mean, this is the end of the summer travel season. Once you hit Labor Day, you turn a light switch off on the amount of people traveling.
Right.
And you're going to see the gas prices take a drop.
So we're back down. We will be back down most likely this winter, this fall, back down below $2.
Yes, and I think that we'll go from the late September through October, November with way below $2. We might get down to 190s, maybe even the late 180s.
Wow.
Here in New York State. But what's interesting is whether the tide's going to turn or not, Bill. And I'll, if you have time, I'll tell you a very interesting story. Mm-hmm. 2 years ago, November 22nd of 2014, when the prices started dropping, our friends at OPEC had a big meeting, and they wanted to cut production. And the Saudis told them, no, we're not cutting production. As a matter of fact, we're going to ramp our production up.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to lose market share. The reason the price dropped was because of the oil production in the United States. and that's what got us from $4 a gallon basically down to where we were in 2014.
Yeah.
The Saudis then flooded the market with oil. Remember, they make money at $14 a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
They got a straw and they just suck it up out of the ground.
Yeah.
They're not drilling from the bottom of the ocean or hard to get places. So they're making money. Even $11, $12 a barrel, they make money. So they don't care if it's $30 a barrel. They're doing fine. Our producers here need between $35 and $40 a barrel to make money. Since the Saudis, now we've gone 2 years with them flooding the market with oil, so to speak, and the price is staying nice and low for the consumers, which is great for all of us. 82 United States oil companies have stopped producing and closed up shop in the last year.
Yeah, I talked to a friend in Houston who said it's a crisis there right now. People are out of work. While we're all loving these gas prices, it's affecting our oil companies.
Exactly, and this is the Saudis' plan, of course.
Yeah.
And when you add to it the Iranians coming online, they're just about before the embargoes, they were not producing. They used to produce almost 4 million barrels a day. They're at 3.8 as of a few weeks ago. So their goal, the Saudis, of course, the Saudis and Iranians are enemies with each other, but I believe that until once the Iranians got back to 4 million barrels per day, and they squeezed a lot of people out of the market, I think then our friends at OPEC, when their November meeting, are going to get together and look at cutting production.
And how does this? I understand it hurts. So if they cut production, we're going to see prices go up.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then the cycle starts all over again. And the question is, the United States producers, did they put themselves at the ready to produce, or did they shut down completely? Right. And I've read reports both ways about it, depending on what kind of oil company it is. With everything with the shale oil and everything out in the West, it was like wildcatting days. Mm-hmm. So a lot of guys moved in, they moved portable equipment in, and they were basically making a lot of money. They needed to be at $40 a barrel, between 35 and 40 to be in business. So I think the question the country will have to decide for itself as time goes on is, what's the comfortable level for paying for gas that we don't mind paying, but also that to keep our oil industry running, so we're not back at the beck and call of our foreign adversaries.
And one other question on this, when it comes to travel, and this would be something I'm assuming you would know the answer to, jet fuel. Obviously, as the cost of a barrel of oil goes down, so then does jet fuel.
Absolutely, and these guys are making so much money it'll make you cry.
Yeah, because I don't see a huge decrease in your plane tickets right now.
No, because what they've done is they've basically cutting number of seats. I read an article where the airlines, United States Airlines, because there's only now two majors if you want to think of it that way. You got the American U.S. Air deal and Delta, and who else is left besides the regional guys? They made $2.6 billion profit last quarter.
Wow. Wow.
And of course, I'm sure if the politicians get a hold of that nice election cycle, they can start yelling at those guys, but it's making too much money. But the truth of the matter is that they're making a boatload of money, and it is tied. The jet fuel is probably their second largest cost after labor.
Yeah. Last question I have for you, which is completely unrelated, but we were just talking about this story of the woman being rescued out of the vehicle. Something that you don't think about. Do you guys talk about? Is there any education about if your car is submerged in water?
I do a piece on my show probably every 18 months about this because I keep detailed notes of all our topics. Yeah. But a couple of quick things. According to the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, going back to 2013 data, the last time I read this, about 400 people a year die by drowning in a car.
Wow.
That's a big number. And the situation, just like what we've just experienced here, is mostly what happens. I mean, you have that occasional disaster where a bridge falls or something, but but for the most part, these things happen from roads getting flooded out, or you're at the beach or something. Something you drive off. That's why you shouldn't be looking at your Google Map thing. You should be looking at a real map.
Right.
But Siri will put you in the lake if you're not careful.
And so when you think about being submerged in water, it's something you really should have some sort of a plan into how to get out.
There's 3 or 4 things that I off the top of my head I could tell you. number one, what you said about the seat headrest. Only some cars it will come out. Not every car will it come out.
Yeah. That's a lot to do. I think that's a lot to do.
The concept of driving it through the window will work. But a couple of things. Remember that even if you're in water, your door mechanism is designed to unlock, even if you got power door locks. If you grab a hold of it, it will open. Right. So that's number one. Number two, even submerged, you're going to have battery power. That's not going to just short out instantly. Everything in a car is designed for moisture. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have juice for a few minutes to roll the window down if that's the case. But but believe it or not, what you see in the movies is correct. The door, you can't push the door open against the pressure of the water. Mm-hmm. It almost has to equalize, and that's a pretty scary thought to hold your breath and open the door and get out. But that is literally the way to do it.
Well, it's something you don't want to think about, but you really should have a plan.
No. If your car is up to the doors, for example,
and
you're not any higher, I mean, that's when you want to try to get out, open the window, and get your body out of that thing, because you're not going to open the car door. But these are things that you see on TV and you see in movies, and I think the most important thing to remember is to stay calm and not freak out.
Right.
And think your way out. Okay, I can't open the door against the pressure. I got to wait for the pressure to equalize or climb out the window. Those are the only two ways you're going to get out.
Not easy to stay calm, but it's really something you have to do.
And it's easy to sit here and talk about it. A lot harder to do.
Gordy has a question in Westmoreland for you, Ed. Gordy, go ahead. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. How you doing today?
Good. Long time listener. Knew you 40 years ago when you worked at that place in Rome.
Well, that is a long time ago.
yeah, a long time. The thing that bothers me, not to change the subject from this, about the gas prices. You remember back in the 70s when this happened, when we ramped up and we got out our refineries going back down in Texas, and then we closed them? You remember what happened then?
What I remember from the 70s, the most was the Arab oil embargo.
Yeah.
And we closed the refineries because the oil was so cheap, and then we were captured. We had
exactly
to pay
right.
the high prices.
So Ed,
and the reasons we closed the refineries, and now that you're jogging my memory a little bit, is we made it illegal to export oil from the United States.
Yeah.
And the oil company said, "Well, if I can't export oil, and that really started a horrible cycle for us." And today, of course, and our president actually lifted that ban. So you can export from the United States. There's another law called the Jones Act, which prohibits us from transporting oil by ship unless it's from a U.S. port to a U.S. port, unless it's a U.S. flagged ship. Believe it or not, this law was built in the 20s to help our keep our shipping industry working. But if you think about it, how many super tankers do you think are flagged with the United States flag?
Right.
They're all flagged with Panamanian flags or Iberian flags. So this is why what's hilarious about this, you wouldn't need all these pipelines if you can actually go from the refinery in Texas to the harbor in New York with a non-U.S. flag ship. So there's a cause and effect for a lot of things that the United States does with policy that affects us over a period of decades.
All right, Gordy, good question. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. And,
okay, take care.
And Ed, do you think that, could we be setting ourselves up again? I mean, we're looking at low prices right now. The refineries come down.
That's why I talked about this, because the Saudis signaled that they would, after they gain their market share, that when November comes, and we'll talk about this again when OPEC meets again, if they decide to pull back on production, that means they're convinced that we're not going to go back into the oil-producing business for a while.
Right, okay. Interesting stuff. Of course, Ed is on every Saturday morning here on WIBX, and been doing that for a long time. Ed, thanks for coming on the air. We appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity. It's always great to talk to you.
Right,
have a good day.
Ed Welch from AAA.